All right, Shiva, so let's get into it. Semen retention. Now, my argument, of course, is you already know, I think it's completely unnatural. I think that if you are a healthy and productive male human being and you're doing everything that is within your masculine ability, you will naturally attract female attention and therefore semen must be released. So, what's your argument? What's your counter argument to that
Let's splice that
perfect
sentence.
statement?
Let's splice a perfect statement in half. Yes, if you're a nice man and you attract female attention, then you said you must eliminate the semen. No, that's where you're wrong. This last little bit, cut it out, edit it, clip it out, remove it. It doesn't have to be released. No, that's actually very bad. If you do that, you're not spiritual. Very bad.
Okay, so now let's think about this in a couple of ways, right? You and I have already spoken in terms of uh, what was that? What was that one thing, that organ that is good, that it's healthy for?
A prostate.
Prostate, right? So it's already been proven scientifically that for your prostate, it is good to release every once in a while at least. Now, I will give you this from my research and from my looking into things. There's only a couple of things that make a difference when you release, right? One of them is you do not lose testosterone when you release, but you do get a slight, tiny little boost of testosterone when you don't release. Okay? That's number one. Number two, there is since, like I said, since there is a benefit to your prostate for you releasing, you holding it in, therefore, is actually damaging yourself, your own physical body. And so, therefore, you should release. Now, where I will meet you and give you the middle ground is I do think that it can become an addiction. It does, unfortunately, become an addiction for most young men. It is an eternal bottomless pit, black hole that you can fall into. But if you're wise enough, you can learn to control yourself and release according to a certain schedule, depending on your age and your health and your energy levels.
Well, I don't like to use these comparisons, but I must. You know, it's everyone knows it's eating donuts is bad and it's a bottomless pit. But in accordance to your own precipitic persification, you can eat donuts and enjoy them once a month, once a year, once every 2 days, depending on if you do bad things, just make sure you're not doing it every day. No, bad stuff, leave me out of it. Not once a day, not once a week, not once a month, not once a year, not once a lifetime. You want to know some facts? Your little prostate. Oh, I'm 29 years old. There's no problem with my prostate. There never will be. Okay, first and foremost, my body isn't made that I have to compulsively get this out, otherwise my organs are going to break. No. Let's take a fundamental fact that the semen is purposed for making children, making babies. You throwing in the plastic trash bin, nature is looking at you like Mother Nature's like, Jesus, is he okay in the brain? Does he not know this is not the purpose? You just hold it in. Well, you don't release this. That's okay. You can still have the sexual act, but don't release it.
All right, now let me flip it on you this other way. You believe that releasing semen is for the purpose of having children.
No, I don't believe it is the way it is.
Correct. Do you have children?
No.
Have you had the opportunity to have children any time in the last several years?
Yes.
Like you actually had intercourse in the last couple years?
Yes, I did.
When was the last time you had intercourse?
Well, it's not worth mentioning.
It is worth mentioning. What do you mean? Don't be, bro. Hold that, bro. Do not. First of all, Shiva.
Okay. Why are we going on this topic?
Okay. This is the point that I'm trying to make to you. Let's say, for example, right, that even your argument is true that everything is supposed to be done according to nature. You would have to agree that our bodies are designed to have intercourse, right?
Yes.
Physically, we're designed to have intercourse with the opposite sex. Okay, so now, even if I grant you that semen release is for the purpose, or should be for the purpose of having children, are you putting yourself in a position, or are you in a position, or have you been in a position recently where that possibility or where that option is even possible?
I told you, before the pandemic, things were happening, and but even if the answer was no, even if I was a virgin, what would that change?
Before the pandemic. So now I want you to think about that. Thank you for finally being honest. Let's give a round of applause for Shiva, Kailash, Shambho. Okay, pandemic was back what? 20 what? 19, 2020? When was the pandemic? So we're talking about 4 years ago. Okay? So now, let's really think about what's going on behind the scenes here. Is what you're practicing really semen retention, or is this just incel behavior that you're trying to promote?
Wow, can't believe you just called me an incel. That's so rude of you. So ungentlemanlike.
Shout out to me for that.
Okay. Let me be the bigger man here, and let me not go into this character attack. This is perfectly fine. Even if I had the most attractive woman here in my bed, they
Feel
wouldn't
free to
change.
go into, I want you to know, feel free to go into a character attack.
Like,
Do not hold, don't try to act like you're, oh, let me be the nice guy. I'm not going to stoop to your level. If you
like,
have something to get off your chest, get it off your chest.
let's not do this
I don't
thing
think you do. I don't think you do
where
have anything.
we shame men because, hey, you're not going out there and getting pussy. Oh, you're such a not a man.
Hey, watch your
No,
language. Watch your
no.
language.
Hey, well,
Getting beautiful, uh, respectable women. That's
no,
what we're talking
that's
about here.
not really, but regardless. Okay, so what? Does that mean if I go and pay someone to do this with, does that automatically mitigate this? It doesn't
Not
matter.
what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking
If I
about.
attract a,
That again would be going against nature. In nature, there is no going out and paying for, female interaction. In nature, again, if a man is healthy and demonstrates their correct qualities, females will present themselves to that man, and then it will naturally happen, and they will have children, and he will release. So now my argument to you is that you're actually grandstanding, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to make it look like you're trying to promote semen retention, when in reality, all you're doing is hiding behind it as a facade for the fact that you can't get a girl.
yes, correct. I can't get a girl that I would want to impregnate and have children with. That's absolutely correct. If I
Hmm.
did have a girl and wanted to make children with her, does that mean that we should do it the first day? Probably not. Some things there need to be established.
Hmm.
And what does that mean? We're not going to be physically together. We're not going to be sleeping together. No. So if I meet the right woman, she's perfect, and I think, okay, we're gonna definitely have kids someday. But you know what? Before we have kids, before I have the financial resources to support you and support my child, I should just bust nuts left and right every single day. The answer is no. Of course not.
Shout
That's
out Big Riz in the chat. By the way, hit that like button for me, Riz. Go ahead. Sorry, Shiva.
That's the argument that I'm trying to make. That's the point that I'm trying to make. If you're a man out there, healthy and sane of mind, and on the spiritual path, of course, most likely you are watching this video, you should absolutely stay away from doing this by yourself
Okay,
and
okay,
doing
we
this with a
got it,
woman.
we got it, we got it. So now the point here is that what the argument is now, that the problem is that you don't actually have a problem about retaining semen. The problem right now is that you're broke, and that you have no way of sustaining another life. You have no way of sustaining a child. And
The
you also have no women that are willing to go into that act with you. And
only
so and so what's happening there is you are forced into semen retention.
incorrect.
It's exactly what's going on. Because again, so this is the case. Again, if I grant you on nature only, no touching yourself, okay? Let's do that. Let's do that. Kids, teenagers, everybody out there, men of all ages, all sizes, don't touch yourself. Okay? You happy? Don't watch
Very happy,
corn.
yes.
Don't overindulge. Don't become addicted to your sexual pleasures. I'll grant you that. However, I will say this: become rich, become successful, become powerful, build a household, become a provider and a protector, and then have as many children as physically possible, and release all the semen that you possibly can into your wife or your life partner, so that you can continue the human population and continue your heritage and have someone to give your inheritance to.
Right.
How about that? What's your opinion on that? What I just said.
100% you should do. Exactly. I'm glad you said it that way.
Good.
So
Okay.
let's turn it back around.
So then that means by extension, the problem here is not retaining. The problem here, your problem is not retaining. Your problem is releasing at incorrect times, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Oh my God. Round of applause for Shiva, Kailash, Shambho. Oh my gosh. Finally, we got him to admit something. So basically, the issue here that we all need to address is not the fact that we should be promoting semen retention. And this is the issue that I have with spirituality, is that they promote only the end results, but they don't promote the path to get there. Right? So yes, of course, semen retention, don't become an addict to corn. No problem. However, on the flip side of that is the fact that you still should be working on yourself as a man, physically, financially, spiritually, mentally, in every way, so that women will find you attractive, and then you can find somebody that you trust enough and that trusts you enough for you two to have children. And then at that point, you're like, go ahead, release all the semen that you possibly can. So again, you're not really a proponent of semen retention. You're just a proponent of not releasing when you're not ready. And so instead of talking about semen retention and trying to do this grandstanding thing that you're doing, what you should talk about is how to get men to the point where they're successful enough to provide for and to protect and to sustain the life of another human being. Oh my God, W in the chat for me. Why am I so good at this? Go ahead.
I got nothing else to say except we disagree on these topics. We'll continue, but it seems like I would agree. Maybe with a small caveat that you shouldn't release it at appropriate times. This is not the way that nature designed this.
No problem. No problem. I don't even disagree with you on that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that if we were to look at things as they are now, right? As they are right now, your problem is not semen retention. That's not your problem. As far as I know, as far as you've told me, you've been retaining for what, close to a year now? Maybe a little bit over a year, around that time. So your problem is not semen retention. At all. You clearly have mastered that. So please stop talking about this subject and move on to the real issue, the real heart of the issue behind the wall, behind the mask. Okay? And let's get to the heart of the problem.
Yes,
The heart of the problem is that you have not yet become a man. Okay? You can't provide for yourself. You can't provide for women. You can't protect them. You couldn't provide for a child. And therefore, you have to practice semen retention, whether you like it or not. That's exactly what's going on. Let's play some sad music for you.
No, I disagree. Just to state that out there. I disagree entirely. And let's not pretend also. Let's look deep down behind your mask, because we all know, you're a big proponent of, let's say, making yourself feel good in the bedroom act. This goes towards you. This advice goes towards you too. It's like I came up to you and said, hey, saliva isn't meant to be spat in a jar and then swished around for fun. No. Nature designed it for you to digest food. Similarly, the semen is designed for making children. That's the only reason why you should let this go. That's what I'm sharing to the viewers. Okay? It's not a life advice about me. This is the benefits that we can share to the public. So I'm telling you, my friends, the very most basic, fundamental reason why you should stop doing this is because this is meant for making children. This is not meant that if you're in the bedroom act, you can't, you can bypass this. You don't have to explode. And that's it.
All right. So now let's talk about me, since you want to point the finger. Okay. Again, I'll grant it to you. Absolutely, you're right. 100%. Round of applause for you. I do have, I do have intercourse, and without the added part of having children, right? Now, let's talk about this for a second. Why is it that that happens and to me, and why that it does not happen to you? And why I think again you should basically be quiet when it comes to this subject. Because it is very easy for somebody in your position to point the finger at somebody like me. Because I have women who actually throw themselves at me and want to be with me. And therefore, I'm faced with the real temptation of a beautiful woman body that is staring me dead in the face, and you're not. And so, therefore, of course, wow, no, there's no woman within 100 miles of you, and you're like, hey guys, guess what? I'm practicing semen retention. Wow, such an amazing accomplishment. Round of applause for this hardworking guru. No, absolutely not. This is what losers do. Basically, is they try to again they try to grandstand. They try to take moral high ground when in reality they're just hiding behind their loserishness. That's all that it is. If you
So you're
had,
telling
if
me
you
that
had,
if I, if you,
talk to me about semen retention when you can prove to me and show to me that you have beautiful, sexy girls throwing themselves at you, and you can say, "Wow, Carlos, look, I'm still practicing semen retention."
yeah,
Until that point
no problem.
comes, I don't want to hear this subject come out of your mouth. The only thing I want to hear coming out of your mouth is from this point forward, is how to improve men financially, physically, spiritually, and mentally. That is all.
Well, Carlos sounds insecure about this because he likes the taste of this, just like he likes the taste of meat, and he can't get his hand out of the cookie jar, and he's telling me not to talk about the subject. Oh my God, I shouldn't talk about the subject because girls aren't throwing themselves at me.
Yeah, because it doesn't
Believe me,
apply to you,
buddy.
Shiva. You're talking about something that only applies to me. You get what I'm saying? It applies to me. Yes, maybe I should think about semen retention. Okay, cool. Maybe I should consider, hey, what are the costs and what are the benefits for my semen retention? Because I have all these girls that are throwing themselves at me, and maybe I should save some of my semen. Because wow, this is actually I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my energy. But you don't have that problem, so why do you keep bringing it up? And again, the only reason then why you bring it up is the same way that I keep telling you guys over and over who watch my channel and who've seen my debates with Shiva, is because he wants to make you guys think that he does things that you can't do so that you can pay him $200 to talk to him so that he can coach you, etc., etc. He takes you on bridges to nowhere. On that note, let's read. We got a $5 super chat from Riz. Shout out to Big Riz in the chat with $5. Thank you, Big Riz. He says, Brother Los, what does Shiva think about men going their own way and making sure to clean their pipes once a month? What's wrong with that? Now, let me explain to you what men going their own way is. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. MGTOW. Have you heard about MGTOW before?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So
Yeah.
I actually, I actually have a MGTOW tattoo here. This tattoo here is a MGTOW tattoo. Men going their own way. Basically, you understand what it means? So MGTOW is basically saying that men have decided, because women have decided they no longer need men. So then men have now counteracted that movement by saying, okay, you don't need us, then we don't need you. And we're going to leave the female agenda, which is to have men provide and protect for them and marry them and have children with them, when the only thing that happens at the end of the day is 70% of divorces are caused by women. Right? And so that obviously MGTOW is a appropriate response to that societal issue. And so what he's asking you is, should a man focus on creating and building himself? And as long as he's doing that, right, and not becoming an addict to corn, what would be wrong with if he's working on himself in every way, physically, financially, spiritually? What would be wrong with cleaning the pipes once a month? Once a month.
Well, it's wrong, first and foremost, fundamentally. So what's wrong with doing the wrong thing once a month? You're doing the wrong thing once a month. Buddy, it's against nature. Hello. Don't do this.
Okay, if that's your answer, then answer me this question. Why do we eat Pringles?
Because it tastes good. I don't eat Pringles.
What did you say? You don't eat Pringles?
No, I don't.
Shiva, I saw you eating Pringles like 2 or 3 episodes ago.
You saw me eating kettle cooked original chips, not Pringles.
Oh man, this guy is such a cap artist.
Anyways,
Literally eating Pringles. Listen, we all have our little vices. We all have our little things. Even vegans have their little treats, their little snacks that are not necessarily healthy, but are still considered vegan. Right?
yeah,
Matter of fact, why do you play video games?
I like it.
So how is that natural? You're doing something simply for the sake of pleasure. Okay? Simply for the sake of pleasure. And guess what? Are you an addict to video games? Do you play video games 4 or 5 times a day? Every single day? Do you? How often do you play video games?
Rarely.
Rarely. So, okay, cool. Let's say I believe you. That means you're keeping it to a point to where it's not ruining your life, right? But you allow yourself a simple pleasure every once in a while just so that you can make it through your month. That's exactly what Rizzo is asking you here, and I don't see any difference between the two. Shout out Big Rizzo, W Rizzo on that chat.
Yeah. Semen retention is not a moral issue, not really a morality thing. You're doing something with your body, that's your desire, whatever. But it's not optimal, we can say. It's a moral issue if you're eating animals, if you're eating meat. That's a different thing. That's a different story. I would communicate in a different way. If you want to go and pet the chicken every once in a while, hey, that's a little bit embarrassing. That's fundamentally wrong for the body. It's just not wise. You making it sound like you're cleaning the pipes, you're not cleaning the pipes. You're draining yourself of your vital energy. And first and foremost, I have a spiritual channel. I run a spiritual channel. I'm here guiding people, at least what I believe, to the highest ordeal of life. This is not gonna get you there. If you want to be like Carlos, stroke the chicken every once in a while, I mean, okay. I'm personally here telling you, don't do it. It's wrong. Fundamentally wrong. Like wrong as if you don't spit on the floor. That's not where saliva belongs.
Shiva, everything is wrong when you don't do it in moderation. That's the point here.
So punching yourself in the face is okay as long as like once a month or once every year.
If you eat vegan pizza every single day, that's not healthy. Even though it's vegan.
Yes.
Right? So you have to do it in moderation. Same thing with releasing. Anyway, we got 2 more questions here. We got Riz with another $5 super chat. Shout out Big Riz. And we also have Expand with Gregory. I'm gonna start with Expand with Gregory because I've been ignoring him the whole chat. Shout out Expand with Gregory. Thank you for joining the Discord. Resisting pleasure and gratification is the hardest thing there is for me, where the sexual temptations are the strongest and the most powerful, and therefore should be put in check, I think is what he's trying to say. I absolutely agree. 100%. You should definitely try to keep it at bay. Do not let it take over your life. You know, Shiva, I'm sure you've been there. Carlos has definitely been there. Most men around the world have been there, where we get lost into these temptations. We've all been there. No problem. I'll give you that. Should you control it? Yes, you should. You should control it to a point to where it's not inhibiting your productivity. It's not ruining your health. It's not deteriorating your energy too much, etc., etc. But if you do it in a way that's responsible and controlled, like if you have a certain schedule that you see that, hey, this, you know what, if I release once a month, it's actually not, I don't feel any negativity about it. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's get to Riz's $5 super chat. Shiva, what about if I already had children through semen release? How am I not entitled to getting it out of my body after then? So now let's think about this for a second. And again, shout out to Riz. Beautiful question. Let's say you become a man, right? Let's say you become a man like Riz did. He sacked up. He became a man, a successful man, rich, powerful. Some woman decided that, hey, I'm willing to have children with this guy. He has his kids. Now he has as many as he wants. He reached his limit of the kids. Let's say he wanted 2. Let's say he wanted 3. I don't know, whatever the number is. He gets there, right? He's, let's say, 30 years old, 35 years old. Now he's got 40 years to live. Are you saying that he should spend the rest of his life denying his sensual pleasures?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Deny your sensual pleasures. Hello. Deny it. I'm being serious.
Let me ask you this question real quick, Shiva. What prize do I get at the end of this tunnel that you're leading me down?
Some people smoke cigarettes. Can you agree that cigarettes are bad? Yes. Okay, I mean, you don't have to answer that. Cigarettes are bad. But what if you found a schedule? You know, once a month, if I smoke a cigarette, my body doesn't really notice any harmful effects, and I get this taste of chimney in my mouth. Oh, it's very good. Similarly, this. Oh, you know, I know it's a design for reproduction, but this compulsive act, it's like I'm pretending to reproduce with someone. It's just so good. Oh, I can't stop myself from doing it. And once a month, I don't really notice any harmful effects. The harmful effects are there.
Shiva, you eat Pringles.
First.
Okay. You sleep till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You don't have a job.
Wrong.
Stop trying to act like you live the most efficient, effective life that there is
Carlos.
to live in the world.
Yes,
you don't.
I am. Yes, I am.
There's many things. You play video games. There's many things that you do that are ineffective and go completely against nature.
Not many, no.
And are ruining and wasting your time and your life.
Incorrect.
And that you do strictly for the pleasure of your own senses.
Very little, if any.
Why do you wake up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
I wake up at 7, possibly 8. a.m.
In the evening?
No.
Oh my goodness, you are such a bro. Why do you lie so much? Bro, listen I've heard you say this several times.
Hold on. Yes, I have.
Somebody in the comments section.
I woke up at 4 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock, and I didn't see any issue with that. I wanted to do that. And now for the past month or so, I wake up right when the sun comes up. And that's more adequate for me. And if I decide to wake up at 12 midnight, that'll be fine for me too. Huh? How about that?
Okay. When was the last time you had a job?
Today.
No, like an actual job.
A very long time ago, and I don't plan to getting a job again.
Yeah, so you haven't had a job in probably more than 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
You probably haven't paid a bill in probably 5 or 6 years.
Nope.
You're sitting there sucking the life out of your, let's just call them relatives, and they're paying the bills for you.
Incorrect. And
that's also not a part of nature. That's not manly. There's nothing honorable about that. But yet, I practice semen retention, even though no woman wants to touch me. Congratulations.
Credit is there where it's due. Thank you very much. Thank you for credit.
Congratulations. You're such a winner in life.
Yes, I am. And I will be more of a winner. And you watch me.
So I want to answer expanding with Gregory. So resisting pleasure and gratification is the hardest thing there is for me, where the sexual temptations are strongest and most powerful, and therefore to be put in check. Yes, absolutely. So again, this goes back to my original point. Men around the world, I don't care what your age is, definitely keep your sexual temptations at bay and try to control yourself as much as possible, because you're absolutely right, Expander Gregory. It is the strongest impulse that we have as men and women, to be frank. Because why? Because our bodies are designed for this. Like literally, look between your legs. You have a sexual organ there. Women, look between your legs. There's a sexual organ there. When you look at both of them together, wow, they fit together comparatively. Wow. Oh my goodness. I wonder who created that system. It's there for them to be connected and for there to be a release. That's what it's there for. So now, if that's not happening to you for whatever reason, then you're the one that's going against nature. So absolutely keep your sexual temptations at bay, control them, moderate them to the point to where you can become a person that focuses on themselves and becomes productive every single day. That's the heart of the matter.
Good. I'm glad we went to the bottom of this.
Yep. And again, Shiva, your issue is not semen retention, my friend. There is no women presenting. There is no women presenting themselves to where you're saying, "Nope, sorry, please stay away from me. I'm practicing semen retention."
That's correct.
It's not happening. It's not happening. The only thing that's happening right now, the only semen retention you're practicing is you not picking up your phone and going to a corn website and doing it yourself. That's the only thing. So what? I don't consider that true semen retention. Wait till there's an actual sexy, beautiful, gorgeous, voluptuous, naked woman, right? That wants to be with you. And then you tell me that you told her, no, I'm practicing semen retention. Then talk to me about it.
Very easy.
Cool.
I can tell you already right now, today.
Anything else that you want to talk about this subject?
So do you agree, you saying to men to stay away from ejaculating either by themselves or in a plastic bag or with a woman that they don't intend to impregnate?
I agree with you on the first two, but not the last one. No. So this is the thing. This is the thing. Look, you're coming from a point of view where you're basically what you're expecting from men is like for them to be like Jesus Christ or something, or the Buddha, like some sort of this level of perfection that's unattainable. And you're doing it on purpose. Why? Because if you claim to do these things, then you can basically have somebody be your slave and your follower for the rest of their life because they know they'll never be able to do it. I guarantee you, you claim to be doing it. I don't know. I don't have a way of proving it.
I'm telling you.
But okay, but I don't have no way of proving that. But I guarantee you that if your followers were to be honest, I guarantee you that 99% of them are not doing it. And that they are releasing at least every once in a while.
So falling prey to their
I guarantee you that not even 99% of your followers, 99% of the world is not doing it. Well, and you can't blame them because again, we're not perfect, okay? We all sometimes fall to pleasures. We all fall to simple pleasures, including yourself. You eat Pringles, you wake up at 4 p.m., you play video games, you do many things that are just for the sake of your pleasure, but this one thing, because it sounds good, because it makes a good video title, because many men feel guilty after doing it, then they come to you, Shiva, please help me overcome my temptations. And then you're like, yes, ha ha ha, pay me $200 and I can help you overcome
I've overcome my temptations.
I can help you overcome everything, every cell that your body is designed to do.
Yes.
Give me a goddamn break, bro. Stop lying with the BS.
Not lying.
Stop the cap.
So it's okay not to do this by yourself or with some video website, but it's absolutely okay with some body or some other woman is with you.
Just as much as it's not okay for you to eat Pringles every day, right? And you don't.
Why is that not okay?
You eat it every once. You eat it every once. You eat it every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Same exact thing with this. If you guys are seeing that you're having a problem, you're becoming an addict, and you're doing this 2 or 3 times a day, or even daily, I would say definitely cut it out. But if you're doing it once a week, no problem. If you're doing it once a month, no problem.
But is that the natural thing? We can argue eating food is natural. Maybe it's not the best food, but hey, it's food. It's got salt, which is a mineral. It's got fat, which is very valuable in nature. But this is, you're basically pretending to impregnate somebody.
Look at a package of Pringles and tell me that everything inside of that package is natural.
Well, the first thing is potatoes and corn.
Yeah, the first thing is, but what about the next 45 ingredients?
Well, I mean,
I mean, yeah, not natural,
And
not healthy,
we're not going to get anywhere.
going completely against
The point
energy,
is,
against nature.
I'm on the path of being a yogi. That's who I teach. That's my YouTube channel. So now I'm talking to someone that releases constantly. He wants to find excuses that it's okay. It's not okay.
I
It's
don't release constantly.
ethically no
I don't release
problem,
constantly. I don't release
but
constantly.
fundamentally for your
I don't
body,
release
for your
constantly. I don't
energy,
release constantly. I
don't do
don't.
it.
I don't. I don't.
Okay, good job.
You're lying. I practice self-control now,
Oh, good.
specifically because of you.
Oh,
You
excellent.
put me on that path where you led me down to believe that you do have a certain point to a certain degree
So
that
now
yeah,
we're gonna.
I should control myself. Before, yeah, absolutely I was having partners left and right, multiple partners at the same time, releasing every single day, multiple times a day. Oh my God, it was so much fun. But I also realized that it was becoming an addiction and it was inhibiting my productivity. And it was also putting me at major risk of STDs and things of that nature. And finally I said, you know what? Maybe there's something to what she was saying. So now what do? I control myself.
Oh, good.
Even with a partner, I don't always release.
Excellent. I'm glad that's progressing, and soon you'll come to the point where you won't release ever, or period. Why? This is not the right thing to do. Only when it's like, okay, consciously we're gonna make a child, let's do it. Otherwise, why
Again,
don't you keep
Shiva,
your
look,
value inside of yourself?
this is the thing that I'm trying to explain to you. Look, you spiritual guys, right? You gurus, quote unquote. You guys all want to be so spiritual,
I am so
but we're
spiritual.
not. But the fact of the matter is that we are also physical beings. We are spirits living inside of
I'm not denying that.
why did the spirit decide to enter the material world? It's to have a material experience. And part of that material experience, you manifested a physical body that is completely and totally designed chemically, hormonally, physically, in every way designed to have a sexual experience with the opposite sex. Hold on a second. We have Rizzo with another $5 super chat. Shout out, Big Riz. Let's see what he says here. Does Shiva think his semen? Hold on a second. Riz $5 super chat. Does Shiva think his semen is godlike or blessed? That's the only reason he would think that he is superior. Did you come from Canada, son? Question mark. It's his question. Do you think that there's some magical powers inside of your semen, Shiva?
I don't just think, I know there's a difference, a big one. There is a spiritual magical power to semen. It's your sexual energy. The more you have, the more you can use it, transmute it, use it for a different purpose. Instead of creating a child, you can create a business, just as I'm doing now. Create
So
many
Shiva,
things.
again, this is the part that I can't stand when you say this. If your argument was correct, right? If
It is
you
correct.
if semen was energy, like you claim that it is, right?
Yep.
And that releasing it wasted so much energy that you're just gonna pass out every day, then you would have unlimited energy.
Well,
But then again, why do you wake up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
again, we've already come
Why
to
do you
this.
not have a job?
I
Why did you just recently start working out after I've been making fun of you for 5 or 6 years with
well,
all the energy that you have?
well, let's talk about this little part that you said that's funny. When you go ahead and ejaculate, it's like you're gonna pass out and sleep. Yeah, that's what happens, huh? The more you do this, the more you want to sleep. That's just to show you, oh my God, it's such a draining,
Shiva, let's be honest here.
taxing
When
process on the
Shiva,
body.
let's be honest here. When we were both in our at our prime, who was doing more productive work at that time? Me or you? Who actually was expending more energy? Who was actually producing more energy, producing more physical, tangible results? Me or you? Be honest. I was running 3 businesses. I was going to the gym 3 times a day. I was playing soccer 4 days a week, sometimes multiple times per day. And at the same time, I was managing several relationships at the same time. And
Yeah.
yet and I was doing YouTube with you at the same
Imagine
time.
how much you could have done if you didn't ejaculate. That's amazing.
Imagine, and what were you doing during that same time period? Absolutely nothing. Closing your eyes, meditating, breathing, doing nonsense. That's all you were doing.
Not nonsense.
Let me see. Expanded Gregory has a question for you. Shiva, do you think illness can be caused by releasing too much?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, my friends, it's not just the liquid, it is your sexual energy, it's your prana, it's your energy inside of your chakras. So much of this goes in because, again, understand the purpose of you surviving is for you to replicate. You survive, you eat lots of food, then go and do this act. This act is so important in nature. So much resources go in making this happen, much more than the actual liquid that's lost. So meditate on this, contemplate, see what happens. It's tremendous energy lost. I don't mean like, oh, I need a 5 hour energy. Not that kind of energy. Spiritual energy, brain energy. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. If this is not in your experience, well, you lose it every couple of times a day or a week. It's like, oh, nothing's happening. A lot is happening. Trust me. Okay? This, yeah. This is a little bit more sensitive to so that everybody can understand. It's very subtle, but now this is becoming more and more of a common topic and becoming more famous or popular because men are starting to understand. Yes, don't do this. Again, and fundamentally, please understand this. Just think about this from a nature's perspective. Only ejaculate when it's time to make a child. That's just the logical procedure. So control yourself as much as you can. Restrain yourself from this act. You can have as much sex as you want, okay? If you want to do that, go ahead and do that. I don't do that. That's just not for me. But
Okay, so
yeah.
closing arguments, Shiva.
Closing arguments. Just leave ejaculation to when you're making a child. That's the most proper way of doing it. That's it. Very simple.
Agreed 100%. So when it comes down to making a child, you should focus on, don't think too much about semen retention, which is probably the easiest part of not having a child.
Really.
Focus on becoming a man, focus on becoming the type of man that women want to have children with, and then talk to me about all the control, self-control that you're practicing. And on that note, I'd like to conclude. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Scary Hours Podcast. Shiva, always a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.